Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm recovering from this weekend. We had a football weekend. Mondays are tough sometimes. Now, I think this right here is going to be massive. Listen to this.
The federal government for children born in the period you just described is going to put $1,000 into these Trump accounts. It will be invested in a widely diversified low-cost index, and then it will be available
in the stock market,
in the stock market,
exchange-traded fund or mutual fund.
So,
that part of it, I think, will evolve. Remember, these are the same guys that want to make crypto they want to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. Here's one way you could help do that.
Since it is a trust fund, it is a piece of the American.
You have to remember, a lot of these platforms right now, you just trade crypto. But what's going to happen is, as stocks are going to become tokenized probably this year, and then ETFs are going to be tokenized. And so that's what I think is going to happen, is you're going to see on a lot of these platforms, you're going to be able to invest, whether you're doing it through tokenized equities or tokenized ETFs, but you'll be able to do it on the crypto platforms too, is where I think this is going.
An economy for every child, and they will be able to take it out when they're 18, or they can convert it to a more IRA type program and keep it for their retirement.
So there won't be the restrictions I mentioned there about how they use the money?
No.
Okay. So there was also a broadening of this past week with the Dell Foundation making a significant investment in the American children. So how is this going to work? Why structure it this way instead of a savings account, for example?
Well, a savings account just gets interest. This is the compounding power of the stock market. You know, as Warren Buffett says, don't bet against the American stock market, don't bet against the economy. And this is going to bring a whole group of new investors into the market. We're going to couple it with a big amount of financial literacy so that children understand what they own. The incredible gift by Michael and Susan Dell will be is a program that philanthropists, foundations can do to top up these accounts. And we are expecting, we're already, Treasury is already in discussions with foundations, with major philanthropists to top up these accounts. It could either be for all children, or you can specify it by zip code, a school district, or you can do what the Dells did and say that it won't apply to the zip codes of the top 20% of earners.
Okay. Now I'm hoping that they set this up so that companies like my partner, iTrustCapital, can have these Trump accounts in there. That would be huge. If you haven't opened an account yet, you can open an IRA like I did, or a premium custody account, and send your XRP right in there, and you can get a $100 funding bonus by going to my link, itrustcapital.com/XRP Army. We've got ourselves a 209 XRP. Things moved a little bit in the last 24 hours to the upside. We've got 3.12 trillion in the market, still in my buying opportunity zone. Look at this, Ripple $500 million share sale, valuing the company at $40 billion, reportedly let select investors, including Citadel, sell shares back at present higher price, guaranteeing a profit. What I'm wondering is, why is the XRP escrow not included in that valuation? Because if it was, it would be well over $100 billion valuation. And I think the answer is because a lot of that escrow is pre-allocated. And I've always thought that, and I continue to think that. I think things could get very exciting. Here's Peter Schiff understanding that he has not done his research on crypto. I made him aware. I said, Peter, there is this company called Ripple you may want to look into. The only problem is the Bitcoin ideologues won't allow you back on stage if you do.
All of these blockchain.
And by the way, I think he's right about 90% of the companies in crypto, just like 90% of the crypto. Brad Garlinghouse has said it 1,000 times. 90% of crypto is going to go to zero and go away. It'll be the same for these companies. I mean, it's a new technology. You're going to see many of them fail, probably 90%.
Companies and crypto-related companies. I don't think 90+% of them will never make any money, and they will go bankrupt. I mean, there's a few that might figure out how to make.
This is not unique to crypto. This happens with every new technological innovation. It's happened in the .com boom. The ones that come out, the Amazons, the Googles, the eBays, the ones that survive are monsters.
Make some money. I don't know what they're worth. I'm not smart enough to figure out, which of the 5 or 10% aren't going to go bankrupt. So I just assume avoid all of them, knowing what's going to happen. I think it's mostly hype. The whole industry is built on hype, and a lot of it just comes from the tremendous gains that people who got into crypto years ago have. Now, a lot of the gains are on paper because, that's just numbers. But obviously, a lot of money has been taken out. But that's only been made possible by the money that's come in over the last few years. In fact, a lot of the people now, with a lot of the buying that has been, the result of maybe Trump being elected and, Trump prioritizing a Bitcoin and crypto and trying to, steer money in that direction. You've had a lot of Wall Street money coming in, these the ETFs first, and then all these, crypto treasury companies, and that's provided a lot more liquidity. And so a lot of the guys that got in 10, 15 years ago have been selling into that and finally realizing these gains.
The Bitcoin and Ethereum people have.
But their realized gains are going to come at the expense of some huge losses, because the money that's coming into crypto now, it's never coming out, right? It's going into the hands of the sellers, but then the rest of it is just going to evaporate because the prices are going to implode, and there's just going to be nothing left, because this whole thing is like a giant pyramid, Ponzi scheme.
Oh, I think some of them are.
Chain letter. This is not new. It's just a new way to pull off an old con. Right, this stuff has been going on for centuries. This isn't new. So, Peter,
Okay, you get the picture. And this is going to sting a little bit for the Bitcoin maxis, but ETF flows, Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs saw net outflows last week with 87.7 million for Bitcoin, 65 million for Ethereum. Meanwhile, Sol and XRP spot ETFs saw net inflows of 20.3 million and 230.74 million respectively. There's two lessons here. What are the 3 digital assets that have been promoted to you over and over and over? Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. But the truth, it's like Anthony Pompliano said the other day. He said, follow the capital. What's the capital doing? It's going into XRP. Once it had an opportunity to. Okay, this is Jamie Dimon. This is what you call plausible deniability. That's how the system has always worked. This is him explaining the debanking of accounts. He doesn't want these accounts to be debanked, but the government told him he had to. She forgot to ask him about Epstein, by the way.
Counsel, the former special counsel Jack Smith, and that Arctic Frost investigation, Jamie, because we had Devin Nunes on this program, former chairman of the Intelligence Committee, who said your bank was subpoenaed to give his bank records up, and he was upset about it. Here's what he said on this program just a few weeks ago. Watch this.
When the Arctic Frost went after our bank records at Trump Media, that's inexplicable because we didn't exist. So what reason did they have to go after us? And I've seen Jamie Dimon and others at JP Morgan say this over and over again, that they don't debank people for political reasons. Well, then why the hell did you debank Trump Media?
Jamie, what do you want to say about that? Did you send over the bank records of Devin Nunes or Trump supporters to the special counsel when he wanted that information?
People have to grow up here, okay, and stop making up things and stuff like that. So, and I can't talk about an individual account. We do not debank people's religious or political affiliations. We do debank them. They have religious and political affiliation. We debank people who are Democrats. We debank people who are Republicans. We've debanked different religious folks. Never was that for that reason. And that's number one. Number two is I don't like debanking people. We live under very strict rules and regulations and requirements, and to protect the country, and we have to report things to the government. We're required to report things to the government. I can't even tell you when we do it, because I'm not going to tell you that either. And so I want to change these rules. I actually applaud the Trump administration, who's trying to say the debanking's bad and we should change the rules. Well, damn it, I've been asking to change the rules now for 15 years. So change the rules. And, and that's why a lot of this stuff takes place. It is really customer unfriendly. And, we're debanking people because of suspected things or negative media or all these various things. So, and the last thing, which
I wonder if the government forced him to keep hidden the fact that JP Morgan was working with Ethereum before the public mainnet launch. Jet fuel, folks. This is what's her name? I think they'll say it.
Genius Act was just signed into law. That happened on July 18th of 2025. Can you talk about your involvement in bringing that to law?
Yeah, that was a huge push over the last, even into the Biden administration, this idea that we had to have dollar-denominated stable coins. We had to have some regulatory clarity around what you could and couldn't do with them for payment issuers, for payment-issued stable coins. And so we have that in Genius. Yes, and I was very involved in that, both at the last Congress and in this one as well. I think it's a critical step. I called this, last time I was on the show, jet fuel for the digital economy, because stable coins really are the way that a lot of the efficiencies are realized in the digital asset ecosystem. And I think you're seeing the reflection of that increased clarity and the increased acceptance of this entire industry in all the different opportunities that we're seeing.
Okay, now check this out from Phil and Dom Kwok.
Hey everyone, it's your favorite brothers Phil and Dom, and we're here at Stanford University putting the finishing touches on the architecture for our brand new protocol, which we will be building on the XRP ledger. I can't wait for you to get your hands on it, be the first users. If you're watching this, you're going to be one of the first to know about it as well. Make sure you're following at EZA_labs to be the first to know when it drops.
I'm looking forward to that. Now, here's my friend Nick Burafedo. Now, Christmas is here, folks. He has created a course. You're going to be talking to a lot of your friends and family and relatives over the holidays, and they're going to be asking you about crypto. Well, and a lot of them are going to be confused. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to explain crypto to people at the holidays, and they look at me like I'm crazy and that they have no clue what I'm talking about. He's put together a course that spells it all out, doesn't just focus on XRP. He focuses on not all, but a handful of the top crypto so that you can understand how it all works. And gives detail. It's like a 90-minute course he's created. You go to cryptocoachnick.com. It's right there. And this is the page for that. And here's the course's retail edition. And then he's got one for financial advisors that are going to have to be able to explain this to their clients. So you can go to cryptocoachnick.com. Now, here on YouTube, you can use the code XRP589, and that will get you 25% off. I've got a code in the group where you can get 35% off. I'll give that to you in the group. And by the way, you can gift this. He's at checkout. There's a gifting box. I think it's like a check box. You can gift the course to someone. So go check that out. We're going to go into the group, and then I'll give you the other code. I'm the digital asset. It's DAIXRP.com. That's the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these videos. If you'd rather join through X, hit subscribe. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family. Come in here if you want to get 35% off on the course. Here we go.